Hey everybody, welcome back to art class. For today's art lesson, you are going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. You'll also need coloring supplies. Just like the last couple of weeks, colored pencils will work best for you, but if you have crayons, that will work too. Markers probably will not work for this assignment, so if that's all you have, then you can just use your pencil to do a black and white drawing instead. So the last couple of weeks, we've been learning about the element of art, form. Form is something that is three-dimensional. Now we're going to continue our practice of drawing forms today, but I want to introduce one more element of art to you. So if you remember the elements that we talked about a few weeks ago, we've got line, color, space, shape, and form is what we've been working on. The next one I want to introduce to you is value. Now, value is a word that has lots of different meanings depending on where you use it, but when we talk about value in art class, it means how light or how dark something is. This mainly comes in handy when we're shading. When we shade, we want some things to be light or have a light value. We want other things to have a dark value or be dark so that we can create form or 3 dimensions. You might see how all the elements of art start to work together to help us create a drawing. So it's very rare that we only use one element of art. Most of the time we're using quite a few all together. So we are going to create some form today in a candy cane. The first thing that we need to do is draw the outside of our candy cane. Now the candy cane is like an upside down J shape, so I'm going to start on the left side with the straight parts. As I get to the top, I'm going to curve around, and I'm just being very light and loose with my pencil. I'm not pushing down really hard and drawing one straight line. I'm kind of just being very light and drawing many lines so that I can really get those rounded lines. So I'm going to come down like this. I'm going to curve around for the bottom of my candy cane, and I'm going to go straight up again. Once I get to the top, I'm going to curve around, and then at the end I will draw a curvy line to close off my candy cane. Now this does not have to be perfect, but here's a really important part about a candy cane. It should be the same size all the way around. So if I can fit 4 fingers down below, I should be able to fit the same amount of fingers up at the top. So I like to use my hand and fingers as like a good measurement just to help me along so I can make sure that my candy cane's even, and then we can get started. Now we're going to draw a candy cane that has stripes on it. Instead of drawing a straight line for our stripes, we're going to draw a curved line. A straight line makes our drawing look very flat and two-dimensional. Curvy lines will make our drawing look like it has form. So I'm going to start at the bottom and draw a curvy line for my stripe, and then I'm just going to add a few curvy lines as I go up. The tricky part comes when your candy cane starts to rotate, so your sections might not be totally even, like it's smaller towards the middle and bigger towards the outside, but that's totally fine. Alright, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 curvy lines. You could have 5, 7, less, more, it doesn't matter to me. This is 7 lines and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6 lines and 7 sections is probably just the right amount. So now that I've sketched the outside, I'm going to go back and draw one nice straight line all the way around. And then I am ready to color. If you don't have crayons or colored pencils, keep your pencil and then shade it like this. But I'm going to add value using colors. So I'm going to do my candy cane red and green since those are the typical Christmas colors. I'm going to start in this section right here. I'm not going to start at the bottom because that rounded edge can be kind of tricky sometimes. So I'm going to start in a section that has more straight edges. Now, if we remember back to last time, we know that when we have something that has form or is 3D, then there's usually a light source shining on it. Now, a candy cane is round, so if we had a light source shining straight on our candy cane, The middle of our candy cane is what's going to be the lightest, and then the edges will be the darkest. So what I'm going to do is start in this section. I'm going to color my red colored pencil along the edge, and I am going to make that the darkest part. After I color very dark on the outside, what I'm going to do is go from the outside to the inside. As I shade or add value, which means dark and light, as I shade it, I'm going to put less and less pressure on my pencil so that it gets lighter. So when I'm coloring right here, I'm pushing down really hard. Now I'm going to push a little lighter. Now I'm going to push a little lighter, so that I have different values. That means different areas of dark and light. So I'm going to do this all the way down my candy cane, or all the way down this section, I should say. The edge is dark, and then as I get towards the middle, I'm coloring a lot lighter. Now this takes some practice. It's kind of tricky right away to get your colored pencils to blend, or if you're using a crayon, it could be even harder for you. So I'll show you a couple different techniques. So this first technique is starting at the end. I'm pushing really hard, and then I'm getting lighter and lighter as I go to the middle. Like this. All right. Now another technique that you could use is starting by coloring the whole thing very lightly. So I'll start and color my whole thing really light. Remember, the middle is the lightest part, so I'm going to leave that part white. My first step is to color the whole thing lightly. Then I can go in and gradually make some parts darker so that I can add some value to my candy cane. All right. That's my first section. Now the edges are darker and the middle is lighter, and this makes it look like it has form. When the light shines on it, the middle is the lightest part, and then the edges are the darkest part. So what I want you to do is color in every section this same way so that the middle is white and the edges are dark. I'm going to go opposite, so I'll do every other one red, and then the ones that are left I will do green. And even though I'm using two different colors, I'm still going to try to create form by making the edges dark and the middle light. I will finish coloring this candy cane and then post my final product to Schoology. When you are all done coloring in your candy cane to have form, you can go ahead and take a picture, upload it to Schoology. This is going to be our last lesson before we take a 2-week winter break. So I hope that you have an awesome break. I hope that you get a chance to relax, and I can't wait to see you in the new year, which it seems crazy that it's already going to be another year. Have an awesome couple of weeks off, friends, and I will see you the next time you are back.